Dee Corley of Cobb County. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dee Corley, and I am a member of the Clayton County Citizen Oversight Committee. We on the committee have marveled at the ability of this and previous administrations to avoid the long-arm reach of the law. Of course, it took a while to figure out how, for example, in 2012, $2 million could be withdrawn from the 2004 SPLOST account for a completely unrelated purchase of commercial property on Highway 54 in Lake City, or how withdrawals from the same fund for nefarious and, again, unrelated purposes were showing up under a bookkeeping heading titled Various. We couldn't believe how this county was so proficient at wasting taxpayer dollars on things like forming fraudulent corporations like Karen's House of Shoes at this address. Actions like these reek of fiduciary and financial malfeasance committed with either criminal or incompetent intent. Those on this board or those whom this board manages consistently avoid prosecution and or disciplining every time these actions are uncovered. You, the board, and your employees act outside of, and in many cases in flagrant violation of official Georgia code, with little more than lip service being paid to every new transgression uncovered. Recently, the amazement was amplified when it was determined that this county was continuing to once again flagrantly violate their oath of office by and through the use of two county corporations, the Clayton County Governmental Finance Corporation and DACC. The former being a method by which this and other local cities and counties believe they are able to skirt or completely avoid Georgia code, morality, and common decency by entering into contracts with banks for the multi-year purposes of borrowing money against future tax receipts, putting all incoming commissioners in a position of either continuing this criminal activity or bankrupting and shutting down services currently offered. The latter is another flagrant misuse of taxpayer dollars concerning concerning property that the county has no business managing at 1630 Phoenix Boulevard in College Park, which remains off the property tax rolls so that any number of private deals can be struck that otherwise were beyond the scope of this board's charter. Now we find that there are 3 more variations of DACC, second, third, and fourth. Similarly, these entities contract with yet another corporate agency, the Development Authority, and this is merely the tip of the proverbial iceberg. When brought to the attention of the district attorney, you, the board commissioners, and the people, nothing is or was done to correct the matters. In fact, it's business as usual for all involved.
I'm Jay James from Paulding County.
One second here. Like I said, my name's Jay James, and I'm a member of the Clayton County Citizens Oversight Committee. When people of this county are asked whether or not they believe corruption exists within the county government, to a man the answer is yes. So ingrained in this perception that you, as the elected leaders of this county, also believe it is tolerable. Mr. Turner and the rest of the board, we at the CCCOC are here to tell you that it is not tolerable. And we will strive to remove all the offenders, whatever positions they might hold, and locate those outside of this good old boy network to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law these violations and the morally corrupt violations of your oath of office. You were made aware of all of these actions over the past few years, and absolutely nothing was done to either indict or prosecute the criminals involved in most of the cases cited. You, commissioners, are the criminals. You are warned that by taking these issues up with the very group that gives you the green light to continue them, the attorney esquires, you would be falsely advised, and you were. You were warned that these attorney esquires who maintain titles of nobility and or honor in direct violation of Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, and Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, were and are keeping you in a constant state of violating your oath of office. We understand that to become one of these people and return to positions you now hold back to constitutional compliance will be both physically and financially painful, but that's exactly what you are charged with doing. When we finally find a law enforcement agency willing to do their job and not continue as business as usual with the business as usual plan, where all transgressions are merely kicked down the road, you and your appointees and your employees will find it much less comfortable situation. The buck stops here in Clayton County. It stops with you guys. Thank you.
Carl Swenson.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that I couldn't get on the agenda tonight because I had something that was going to really help the people here. I'll give it a quick go right now. On the desk back there, you will find some write-up as to how each and every one of you can utilize something called the 2-cent stamp. First-class postage guaranteed by the General Post Office. You can incorporate the same thing for your newsletters or whatever using the 3-cent or equivalent, and it's all in the code. It's all in the contract with the people. So it's been hidden.
Please state your county residency.
Sorry about that. I'm Carl Swenson. I live over in Henry County, but I'm a member of the Clayton County Citizens Oversight Committee. This is kind of important, and the reason I brought it up is because I've sent each and every one of you a letter, and I assume you've gotten them. I've talked to Michael, and I talked to Terry Bascom, and they confirmed that they got them. So it does work. There's no tricks. There's nothing magical about this. But everybody who sends cards out for the holidays, what a treat to be able to do so at 2 cents a half ounce. It's right there if you want to use it. I use it, and I suggest you do too. But it goes to show something. It goes to show that there's a shadow among us. There's a shadow in the post office, because what we have is a privately run USPS created by Tricky Dicky back in 1971 to take care of or just put into the coffers the General Post Office, of which there are two. One for the government, one for us. We need to use this. And when we use it, we need to think about how this is part of the shadow government system that we see running. We need to think about how whenever you guys have a contract that you have to enter into that lasts more than a year, you're doing so in violation of Georgia Code. And just because you have a corporation to do this under, you can't shield yourself from that liability. You will be told you can, but you can't. It's going to come back, just like the 2-cent stamp has come back. And it's going to be used. When the word gets out there, the General Post Office will be re-engaged. And it is being re-engaged right now. You can be a part of it. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Violating the Georgia Code is. But giving something to your people, giving something to the community, giving back, that's a good thing. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, right here, on behalf of the Clayton County Citizens Oversight Committee. And I hope each and every one of you have a blessed day. And thank you very much, Terry, for a beautiful opening prayer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, that concludes